Hello, everyone. Let's take a look at November 1st and 2nd energy patterns. I have prepared for you a couple of drawings. And the very first one that I'm going to share is a complex planetary picture. This is it. You can see that there is a finger of fate involving Mars in Scorpio, the dark moon Lilith in Aries, and the North Node in Gemini. The North Node is soon going to cross over to Taurus, but at the moment it is still in Gemini. And this is our chosen. This represents our chosen destiny choices. Whatever we want to do as a destiny, whatever we have decided to acquire as our main tool for to fulfill our destiny. And in Gemini, the most important thing is to gather as much information as possible, to gather pieces of information that are actual, that are in the present, that are valid in the present, whereas the South Node in Sagittarius represents what we already know, and in Sag, it means that it's the scope of knowledge. It's more like a wisdom. So this is the main protagonist today on the 1st of November. And as Mars is at the apex, it provides us will and energy. This is really a dissolved of a finger of fate, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but what is really important is that Venus has reached the Galactic Centre, which is currently at 27 degrees 30 Sagittarius. Juno is right behind Venus, so there's still a Juno-Venus conjunction, very tight. Of course, it's separating in a way because Venus is much faster than Juno, but the two archetypes will be hand in hand for a couple of more days for sure, until actually Venus doesn't go, until it goes into Capricorn, which I believe it's either going to be on the 7th, sometime I think on the 7th of November, by which time Juno will be exactly at the Galactic Centre. In karmic astrology, the Galactic Centre, which is the center of the Milky Way, is one of the key celestial areas. And these key celestial areas denote karmic dilemmas. And the center of the Galactic Center's dilemma is to be or not to be, whether to come into incarnation in a physical body, whether to acquire a physical body and a human destiny, or to remain in the higher dimensional spheres and just be as an energy swirl and live in a totally different way. It's not really, I should call it existence, because it's not really life in its pure humane form as we understand it. So these two are hand in hand at the Galactic Centre, these two archetypes, which means that Juno, the wife, the spouse, and Venus, the lover, go hand in hand. At the Galactic Centre, they will represent the dilemma whether or not you should stay in a relationship. If this relationship has a lover involved, whether you are the lover or whether you are the spouse, it doesn't really matter. You will experience some sort of problem, let's put it this way, issue is a better word, because a problem has a negative connotation, and it's not necessarily negative. It simply causes you to, or triggers you to pay attention to what is going on and to really, really ponder on whether you want to stay in this relationship or not. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. Besides the Yod, we will have another configuration, but first let me show you the dissolved Yod. What do I mean by dissolved energy? The fact that we have the South Node also in this pattern indicates that yes, there's another configuration attached to the Yod. This is the dissolving portion, and it is a trine between the south node and the dark moon Lilith. The dark moon Lilith is the second installment, the second turning point of the Lilith myths. This is when Lilith goes away from the Garden of Eden, and she accepts the curse of Yahweh because she doesn't want to stay. And it usually denotes a pattern where you would rather go away, rather leave everything behind and don't care for the consequences, because you simply cannot tolerate the situation. And with the South Node, such old experiences may resurface and you can actually let it go, because with the trines, as Bernard Brady often mentions, trines have this ability to let things go. She calls trines a moment without friction, movement without friction. Something is really completed very, very fast. So this is what you can do today. So that's the dissolving part of the Yod. But we also have something that I invented. I invented because I didn't know how to express this type of configuration, where you actually don't have a configuration, but you have three aspects, where the aspects do have their orb, but they don't close. So you don't have a closed system, you have an open system. I call such configurations as slivers, because they exactly operate like when you have a sliver in your finger, and you can feel that the pain is concentrated on one particular area where the sliver went into your finger, and that's exactly it. Here we don't have the semi-sextiles, so nothing is closed, so the energy cannot swirl. It's a very uneven energy pressure, and you have Venus, Juno, trine, Aries. So this is one trine. Then you have Pluto square Aries, and then you have Jupiter sextile Aries. So Aries is receiving the main impact, the main pressure here. And Aries, of course, denotes drastically altered outward circumstances. So this is really a dissolution of the Pluto Aries square. So that's that. And we are also going to look at the November the 2nd, simply because it's almost there already on the 1st of November. Here you have Mercury finally again reaching the spot where it was a couple of weeks ago, before actually going retrograde and then going direct again. Here you see the cardinal T-square involving the Pluto in Capricorn, Aries in Aries, and Mercury is closing it. The structure, the Pluto Aries cardinal square is this year's and last year's and even next year's main karmic astrological feature. Drastically altered outward circumstances are clashing with the will or the notion to transform rigid power structures. So this is a very very deep and very ugly cardinal square. I'm actually doing a research on the potentials, when it was. It's a rare square, by the way, so it doesn't happen most of the time, because Pluto's orbit is 250 years and Aries' orbit is close to 600 years. So for them to enter into a square is quite rare. And here you have, again, the T-square involving Mercury in Libra, which means that you do have the ability to look at it very rationally. You have the ability to look at it in a balanced and diplomatic way, but it's still there. The tension of the T-square is still there, but it gets dissolved by Vesta in Scorpio, making a square to Jupiter. Jupiter-Vesta squares are interesting because Jupiter denotes the high priest, while Vesta denotes the high priestess. So the high priest and the high priestess are clashing, and they form a little engine with Aries, the three of them. Here you see the little engine energy. So these two are joined, but as you can see, we don't have the semi-squares because they don't close yet. They will be eventually, because Pluto is direct, Jupiter is direct, and Mercury is also direct, and so is Vesta. So Mercury is faster than Vesta. So in a couple of days, maybe one day, this will be closing. And then Jupiter is also faster than Pluto. So that semi-sextile is also going to close. And then you will have a little bit different. So that is going to be an even tighter configuration. So that's it for us for November 1st and 2nd. Happy Halloween and happy Day of the Dead and happy All Saints Day, because as I said in one of my previous videos, those three festivals are all together. The 31st is Halloween, the 1st of November here in Europe is All Saints Day, and the 2nd of November is the Day of the Dead. It's quite revealing that at a certain moment when the wheel between the worlds is the thinnest, you have a 3-day festival, okay? And as you know, all resurrected gods come into being again in 3 days. So this is a very particular moment in time anyway. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.